Hello everyone, welcome to my new Feral Druid PvP video. Today we're gonna face one of the strongest classes in game, Shadow Priest and Mage. Starting with the Priest. Priest fights are with a lot of RNG, I would say. There are some fights where I literally do opener and elite Priest in 2 or 3 shreds, and sometimes I get stunned in first 3 seconds and be demolished in a blink of an eye. Their blackout proc can literally fuck up the whole fight if it procs in a bad moment, or not to mention double proc in the same fight. Other thing that is crucial is again and again our dash. Without it, we'll have very hard job making shreds, and in a moment you can find yourself spamming shred with 100 energy because you clearly can't make any if Priest keep turning his face to you while spamming his dots. Thanks God Shadowbird that was at least nerfed a little bit, but it can still be very painful. That's the reason I'm using Survival Instinct instead of the King of the Jungle, and we are opening discussion here. If you go with a King of the Jungle, you can open land 2 to 3 abilities max, and there goes the fear where you need to berserk. So what's the problem there? Answer is energy. Trust me, if you go with a berserk in opener, you won't need any energy boost because it reduces cost of your spells by 50%, which is more than enough to make Savage Roar and 5 combo point the rip without any problems. But on the other side, we got our only defensive ability available to boost our HP by 30%, which we will need in second phase of duel after his dispersion. What I want to say is that Berserk provides us enough offensiveness in opener to kick out the jungle rune and go more defensively, because we need that. Other thing that needs discussion is opener. Should you go with Berserk from stealth or when you got fear? I try both and both have their pros and cons. I prefer opening straight with Berserk from stealth because I find opening seconds of the match most important. Always when I waited for him to fear me, I found myself hard to get back on the track and get everything under the control. I feel it's most important to make the pressure from start and be on the target every damn second, because I tested openers on some priests and we literally saw that if he makes dispersion 1 or 2 seconds later than he should, that makes him eat 1 to 2 shreds more, which could be 30 to 50% health. For that time he also casts 1 or 2 dots. So if he used Berserk on fear, he will make small space, wait for our reaction to break that fear with Berserk, and that will allow him to make 2 abilities at least. This is crucial. If he makes Homonuchi's Void Plague and Shadowbird Pain while not taking almost any damage from opener, this is huge advantage for him. We'll come back on him and he will just disperse with having all dots applied on us. But if we go aggressively, he will need to make a choice between having dots on us before dispersing and losing potential 70% health in that 4 to 5 seconds, or to go instant full length disperse without applying any dots in opener. There goes RNG again. If he does the second option with instant disperse, he will depend on stun proc. If we don't trinket that stun, he will easily apply all the dots for that time and make a space. If we trinket that stun, he will just wait for Berserk to expire soon, just fear and GG, as we wasted Berserk in our opener. So that's tricky thing when using pre-Berserk, if his RNG kicks in after dispersion. So there aren't some extreme mechanics in this fight, I mean in SoD at all. It's simple, the longer the fight, the more chance of you to lose against a priest. He literally doesn't have any major CD beside dispersion, so there is no need for fight to reopen, nor there is a chance to do so against a priest. And on top of that, all of his damage comes from non-castable spells, which makes them very brain dead and beginner friendly. Like we said, open with pre-berserk, but make sure to be very close to enemy so you don't lose any millisecond of it for nothing. I would advise you to go with a mangle and then savage roll with 2 points instead of 1 just point, because you need that 5-second bonus later. Then I use Tiger's Fury, which you don't really need to use without the jungle, but it has 50% reduced energy, so it's okay. After that, I prefer to shred ASAP instead of rake, because we don't know when will he disperse. It's not that important, but yeah, I find shred damage priority. He is on 25% health already. Now pay attention on the number of abilities he used for this time. Void Plague, wait 1 second global, shield, 1 second global, shadow word pain, global, homunculi, and boom dispersion. It's important to let everything while your roar lasts. Don't mind using a rip if he disperses faster, because your rip lasts 16 seconds and his dispersion is 6. Also, when he disperses, try using regrowth and rejuvenation for that time, don't just stand in cat form. If homunculis are up, it will be impossible since they do insanely fucking hard pushback, which you can see in the background. Sometimes you can racial stun them and cast regrowth and rejuvenation. It's worth. However, let's get back to our fight. I'm at 25% health because he clicked 3 buttons from start, so I switched to bear form, used survival instinct and waited for him to leave dispersion for charge. He feared me, but thank god his stun didn't proc once and I had a trinket. And no, I don't have 1k HP left. I would drop to 1 HP in 10 seconds and much earlier with his damage. In this one we can see early dispersion without applying any dot on me. What you're gonna do there is making 5 combo points regardless of damage and energy. When dispersion is about to expire and before savage expires, you're gonna hit 5 combo point rip, and from that position he was already fucked up. I made this good timing racial stun, and from now we're just pitting shreds and watching him dying with all the bleeds. I renewed the savage roar duration because it's always good to have it, and he was already in hopeless situation and started healing. Just land bear charge and kick his heals. Okay, got classic opener, but this time priest instantly trinket our pawns, which make it a little bit harder to land a shred. However, I got that one shred that critted and gave me another CP, but for some reason I hit 4 CP rip and reapplied a rake. As soon as he dispersed, I used rejuvenation and started hard cast on regrowth, and I made it next to his shadow fiend. All of that followed by bear charge to keep him immobilized and bash, because he doesn't have a trinket. With bot heals active and stun, I had to use survival instinct, and that saved me of a loss. That shadow word that would literally make this fight end right there, with 500 damage because I had 600 HP before survival instinct. There we have some older video when I didn't have no more gear, but this fight can show us a couple of things. Firstly, I have King of the Jungle here instead of Instinct. Second thing is opener with pause berserk on his fear. Then you can see he completely uses racial that made me waste savage roar and completely miss 4 combo point rip. But there is an example of using racial to make a regrowth without pushback from homunculi. So I had to make rip without savage roar now, and this guy instantly removed it with his dwarf racial, which I totally forgot about and didn't expect it in battleground either. I renewed savage roar, but guy used dispersion and he actually did everything good in this fight. I did rejuvenation and botted and went out of mana, so Inherent came handy, but again I had to wait for mana regen so I can make a gap closing charge. As you can see, I was so close, but bear auto attack just takes ages. But yeah, that dwarf racial freaked me out. This one is loose but fast video. To see how important it is for a couple of seconds, how big pushback is, and to always use survival instinct on time. Just look at this, I made 5 combo point rip, made another 2 combo point, and he got dispersion. Then I started healing and was pushed back for like 3 seconds because of homunculis. This opener was freaking huge. He would lose health after dispersion with one ability, and he just pressed one single button when he left dispersion and dealt like literally 1/3 of my health with shadow word death. But the worst thing is that I had survival instinct but didn't expect this huge game unbalance. And this is the last video with some words for the end. This video shows how it looks like when you don't have a dash and you trinket the stun. After dispersion, I just couldn't get him for 5 seconds, and there goes another fear, and GG. However, mage fights will be in another video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Thanks a lot and see you soon.